Hey everyone, welcome back to the ZarCast episode 4. I am your host, Dante B8, and with me as always are my quick-witted co-hosts. Last week, he took the Zar into a whole new direction with the Crypto Corner, and I sure I speak for everyone when I say I cannot wait to see what he has in store for us here today. Mr. D22, how are you?
Hey, good day, everyone. I'm just excited here. It's always such a good time. Positive Q, Dante V8. It's awesome to be here again for the next episode of the ZarCast.
And of course, the man who nearly reignited the French and Indian War with his talk of fur trading last week, talking about none other than Positive Q.
Thank you, Dante. I really appreciate that. I'm happy to be with everybody again. Love talking about stuff. Love talking to you guys. We got another big guest on the line today. As soon as we get to them, I think everybody's going to be excited about that and just having fun doing what we do.
Yeah. So I was listening back to the show last week, and one thing I kind of sort of just glanced right over: 8 dogs, huh?
Yes, there is a lot of dogs in the house. My wife and I work with multiple rescues. It's one of our passions in life. And I always say to people that we might be the worst foster parents in the world because they keep on coming in, but they never seem to leave. So I think there's a two-part to that equation. But the good news is that we are now at the limit of our town that you can't have more than 8 dogs legally in the town. So I have informed my wife that if she gets any more, I will have her arrested.
Yeah.
So
all right. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed our new intro music that we just played there. Yeah. One of our tribe members, Creative, with the assist from Mathematics, actually reached out to us in Discord. Said he was a music creator, and he put that together for us. You're going to hear an outro on the way out too. So yeah, we want to thank him. You know, in the coming days, I'll put up all of his contact information. If you have need for someone to do something like that for you, reach out. That's one thing that we love about this community is everybody looks out for each other and helps each other out. And if we can support each other, you know, in the community and also in our real lives, that's what it's all about. So thank you, Creative. Awesome job. We love it. You know, on that note, recently, you know, if ever anyone heard the status call last night, there was a lot of love for the ZarCast. Thank you, Dr. Dick, for all the kind words you said about the show and about us specifically. So one of the things that we wanted to say was thank you to all of you, because after we post a show each week, there's always a whole bunch of, you know, compliments and people resharing and retweeting the show links and everything. So we appreciate that a lot. We're trying to grow it as much as possible. We're trying to give you guys the content that you enjoy. So that's one of the things I wanted to start the show with today. Was we said from the first episode that, you know, it's the 3 of us doing it, but it's everyone's show. We like to bring in guests from our tribe, from our community, and you know, we talk about, you know, the things that they're into. And what we would like is for you guys, you know, when you hear the show, if you have some suggestions on topics that you want to hear us discuss, send them in. Send in the questions. We've asked for listener questions. We'd love to hear some of those. You know, and you know, if we see there's things specifically you want us to talk about, or segments that we debut week after week, if you really like them, say you really enjoyed this, or you know, go ahead and say you didn't really like that so much if there's something you didn't like, and we'll try to dig in on the things you really like. So on that note, we have a new Gmail account for you to send your comments and questions and suggestions in, and that is zarcast.quokka@gmail.com. And the ZarCast is spelled with one A, ZarCast.quokka@gmail.com. So looking forward to, getting some emails from you guys. All right. So now big news on the horizon with Wildwood coming up. D, are you headed to Wildwood?
Yeah, I'm planning to bring my wife. I'm planning to be there and spend the night. We'll probably look for a hotel to stay in because my wife is pregnant. So we're not doing the tents, but I have a couple coworkers that are gonna have a tent set up in the beach, and yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting some new people in person that I've talked to through Discord, and yeah, just having a blast with our Tribe Quokka crew.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And positive Q.
I would love to be there. Unfortunately, I have a family event that is conflicting that I can't get out of. I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody again. I know I've gone to a couple of the parties and had a lot of fun meeting everybody, but especially as we've grown through the Czar, I have not been able to get to an IRL event. So I definitely got to make one soon. But I know you guys will be there representing the ZarCast and giving my apologies to everyone and telling them that I missed them.
Yeah, we will, and I'm sure you're going to be missed there. You'll definitely be missed by Dave and I. I was looking forward to sitting around that fire pit and just talking Kawaka's in life.
I love it.
All right, so now we are going to head to the Crypto Corner. Dee, before we get started with your new segment on Crypto Corner, there was one other question I just wanted to see if you could clear up. You mentioned the word staking in terms of Ethereum last week. Can you just briefly describe what you mean by staking?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up. I do want to say I'm tweaking my crypto report. My goal here is going to be to just bring as much information that will help our listeners understand the crypto market as a whole a little bit better. And so for all you experts out there, bear with me. I know when we first minted in NFTs, I was one of them still learning the whole thing of NFTs and how it worked. And it was super helpful to have people that knew a little bit more than me explain just all the little things. And so that's my goal with Crypto Corner. And so going to staking, there's two types of protocols in crypto. There's proof of stake and proof of work. Bitcoin, when you hear about Bitcoin miners and that's proof of work. It's a whole different process for the same goal, which is securing the network. And so for staking, which most of the crypto projects, especially all the newer crypto projects, are proof of stake. They're less energy consumption, so it's better for the environment. But then also what that means is that you can stake your coins and you can earn rewards on them. And so you lock up your coins. Some protocols make you lock them up for 30 days. Others is just 2 weeks. Others you can take out in a couple hours. But you basically lock up your coins. That helps secure the network. It makes it harder for hackers to hack in the system because it would be more expensive to hack than to actually just abide by the rules. And so when I talk about staking my coins, it just means that I've locked up X amount of coins and I am getting rewards on those coins.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, I guess are we getting started with the Crypto Corner?
Yeah, man. So you.
All right. My name is D22 and I'm here with the Crypto Corner. Today, I want to focus in on how to help you guys pick out the crypto project when you want to invest in any given crypto project. What are the first things I personally would look at? And so I'm going to go start with market cap, circulating supply, max supply, and then obviously you have the price of the coin. All right. And I'm going to explain these terms, and I'm going to explain as well how important they are when you analyze where or which crypto project, which coin you want to buy. So first off, let me say this, and this applies to NFT projects especially. The first thing you want to look at when you're going to buy into any type of investment is who are the founders, okay? Because if you can learn information about the founders, their history, their education, if they're trustworthy, if they're doxed, all these little things about the founders will give you confidence to know who's behind the project. And have you seen in this bear market, when these big fluctuations come, that is one of the real big factors that I hold on tight to when I get tempted to panic and sell. It's like, okay, I know the founders. I know these guys are in the bear market, busting their butts, working hard to build this. And so I'm going to hold on because I know this project has a future. All right. But with that being said, if you're just looking at the token and the price, you're making a big mistake. I don't know about you, but when I first got into crypto, I would see a crypto that was, maybe a penny or maybe 10 cents or maybe even $1. And I'm like, oh man, I'm going to buy a ton of these because someday maybe it'll be worth, $20,000, just like Bitcoin. And I had to learn through trial and error, and I had to make a lot of mistakes to understand that not all crypto coins are created equal, but also more importantly, not all crypto coins have the same amount of circulating supply. So the first thing you want to look at when you're going to invest into a crypto project, you want to see who the founders are. You want to know what this project is actually trying to do. What problem does it solve? What utility, real life application does it have? And then you look at it's called the tokenomics. And the circulating supply is going to tell you how many coins actually exist in the present time. And then there's also a max supply, which is going to say how many coins after inflation are there going to be at any given time. Okay. So you have circulating supply, you have max supply, and then the price of the coin. All right, the price, and to make it the math easy, the price of the coin, let's say the coin is a $1 coin, and the circulating supply is 1 million coins, right? That means that their market cap is $1 million because the coin is worth $1 and the circulating supply is 1 million coins. You multiply both, you get the magic number. It's $1 million market cap. So when I try to analyze, what crypto project I want to buy into, and listen, if you're looking at the top two dogs, Ethereum and Bitcoin, there's not much to compare to, right? Because Ethereum does one thing, it's a layer one, people build projects on top of it. Bitcoin is another thing, it's a store of value, it's like digital gold. Those are the two kings of crypto, and there's not much competition to compare. But I want to use Ethereum as an example to help you brainstorm through how you would go about picking a project that you think has potential. All right. And so when I talk about layer ones, a layer one is a project that you build on top of. And so for Ethereum, for example, Tribe Quokka is built on Ethereum. There's a bunch of other coins that are built on Ethereum, and they use that infrastructure to build their project. Okay. And that's what Ethereum is. And they captured the majority of the early successful projects are built on Ethereum. And so that's why, you get this congested network where the fees get real high, and there's just so much built on top of it that it's a complex, robust ecosystem. With that being said, I know there's a lot of people that like ADA, Cardano. Cardano is also a layer one. People build on top of Cardano just like they do with Ethereum. And so when I want to buy into a project, first I look at the founders. So for Cardano, the founder, he's one of the co-founders of Ethereum. This dude is a real smart dude, has his doctorate. He knows what he's doing. He's been in crypto since the very beginning. And so it's a good potential project, right? But when you look at the price of Cardano, you're going to notice that it's very different from Ethereum. Right now, Cardano is at 43 cents, okay? And Ethereum is at 1,075. Ethereum's market cap is 130 billion, and Cardano's market cap is 14 billion. Now, if you don't understand these things, you can look at Cardano and say, oh, someday Cardano may be worth $1,000. It's not going to happen. Because remember, it depends on how many coins are circulating. Cardano's circulating supply is 33 billion coins. That's how many coins exist right now. Versus Ethereum circulating supply is 121 million. So Ethereum, million with an M, Cardano, billion with a B. So this doesn't mean if they have a lot of coins circulating that it's a bad project. It just means the price is not going to match the dollar amount. It's just going to be a different price. So you want to look at market cap. Market cap for Ethereum, 130 billion. Market cap for Cardano, 14 billion. So basically what you can say is this. All right, Cardano may someday be like Ethereum. If that were to happen, it would 10x, because 10 times 14 billion would equal the market cap of 130, give or take, billion for Ethereum. And so you want to look at their top competitor, you want to look at their potential for growth, and then you can really think about a reasonable price. So if Cardano's at 0.43 cent, if someday it reaches the potential that where Ethereum is at now, it would hit $4.30. So that's what you're hoping for Cardano. That's a best case scenario for it. Anyway, I'm out of time here. That's a real smart way of how to start your crypto investment. Look at the project, look at the top dog, compare circulating supply, and try to figure out if you are betting on a viable contender to take the throne away from one of the big dogs. With that being said, this isn't financial advice. I'm just giving you my opinion. I have to put out that disclosure. And then very quickly, because the ZarCast is all about Quokkas. And so I get super excited when I look at the market cap of Tribe Quokka and I compare it with the market cap of Bored Apes Yacht Club. Okay. Bored Apes Yacht Club, its floor is at 100 ETH, and they have 10,000 apes in circulation. That's the whole collection. Basically, the whole collection is worth a million ETH. Okay. A million ETH multiplied by 1,000. You can do the math. That's your market cap. Our market cap, our floor is at 0.5, give or take, right? And we have only 8,000 Quokkas in our collection. So we have, it would be 0.5 multiplied by 8,000. It's 4,000 ETH in our market cap. So like the potential that we have right now between 4,000 and 1 million, okay, we're talking about a 250x, okay? So let's say we do half that. Let's say we reach half the potential that the Bored Apes have, right? So that means 125%. You would multiply our floor times 125. I mean, you're getting like a 60 ETH Quokka floor just by reaching half of what the Bored Ape Yacht Club accomplished already. So with that, I'm gonna leave it at that. Tribe Quokka, we're gonna get there, and there's so much more room to grow. So I'm excited.
Awesome, great job. Really quick, can you explain what's going on with ApeCoin, or is that for another day?
I mean, ApeCoin, they launched, it had a lot of hype. Remember that when you have these airdrops, there's going to be a lot of people selling real quick. There's also going to be a lot of people that, with the fear of missing out, they looked at the apes, or maybe they sold their ape at 5 ETH, right? And then they had to dread looking at it go to 100 ETH. And now the ApeCoin comes up, and so they're buying. The people that got an airdrop are selling. And so there was this big high fluctuation. Now it dipped. It's going to settle. I would have to look at their circulating supply, and we can do that real quick. What I use is CoinMarketCap. It's a real easy app. You can look up any coin as long as it's listed on there. It'll tell you all these basic price points and datas. So ApeCoin is at $4.33. Its all-time high was $39. So yeah, it's dipped a lot. And the max supply is 1 billion. Circulating supply is 300 million. So you got to remember, right now there's 300 million in the market, but there's still another 700 million that are going to mint or that are going to be released to the public at some point. Okay. Lots of times these coins are locked up for the founders, and there's, different thresholds they have to hit for them to be able to liquidate. It's kind of like stocks where the CEO gets to liquidate his stocks at any given threshold that they hit. But with that being said, I mean, it stands right now at rank number 37. It definitely, it's up there for a new coin, but it does have the backing of Bored Ape Yacht Club. Yeah, I mean, I like the price right now. Like the whole market, we're in a bear market, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, this is, and listen, I want to say this real quick as well. I have some stats here about Ethereum, and I'm sorry that I'm jumping all over the place, but just to give some perspective. July 15th, right? Let's assume today's July 15th. We're 2 days off. July 15th of 2020, 2 years ago, the price of Ethereum was $233, guys. Whoa. $233, okay? We hit an all-time high on November 7th of 2021, 6 months ago, of 4,800. Okay, so Ethereum was worth almost $5,000 a couple months ago, and today it's at 1,100. So with that being said, if you invested 2 years ago, you still 5x your money. Don't sweat the bear market. It's a time to buy, to be aggressive with purchasing, but it may take a couple months for this to rebound.
All right, D22. Thank you again for your thorough explanation on everything. Yeah, so I know everybody really enjoyed that segment last week, so I'm looking forward to some more feedback on that. And again, if you have specific questions about crypto, please email them along, and you know, D22 can tailor make his next segment towards your question. All right, next, the OpenSea Report from Positive Q.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And D22, that was a major information dump with a lot of great stuff. I'm starting to get more and more nervous every week following up your segment. You know, just like that's a tough act with the amount of detail and the amount of knowledge you just dropped on everybody. So thank you very much for that.
Absolutely.
So the PQ OpenSea report for this week, we are still at a lower trading volume. I'm here to report the news, you know, whether that's what I want or not. And last week we saw a 7-day volume of 8.8 Ethereum with an average price of 0.59. So we saw a little dip in both of those from the week before. So, you know, we're still trending down. We're still in a market where, you know, people are a little pensive. People are a little holding on to their Ethereum. I think they might be waiting to see if it's going to go down even more, that they lose a little bit on their investment. I think that will turn reasonably soon, but that's the market we're in right now. If you look over the past 14 days, we're at 17.07, so we're about average for then. We really saw was a drop off from 30 days to the last 2 weeks, and there was a big buildup going into NFT NYC, and you know, now everybody is kind of taking a breath after that, and we'll start seeing volume pick back up. I took a little inspiration from D22 on when he's talking about crypto and about support and resistance levels. So I have tried to map out the last 90 days of Quokka sales, and this is what I have seemed to find. If you look at the peaks and valleys of our sales, is that we seem to find support at about 0.425 ETH. It seems like, you know, once we bounce off that bottom there, we seem to pick back up, and we seem to be hitting resistance at about 0.8. So if you track the last 90 days, you'll see that there was 1 or 2 days that peaked above. And I think that was really due to some large sales, but those seem to be our two levels, and we are creeping back down on the floor. Our current floor price is 0.48. So we seem to be creeping back down to that 0.425. So once you get that number out there, I think if you're waiting on something, if you're waiting for the bottom, I think that may be the time to pull the trigger, because we're going to see a bounce back up at that point. There's a lot of people in the community, especially with the price of Ethereum right now, that if they see something around $400, $450, they're willing to spend to increase their collection. So keep an eye on that number. Now, this is new tracking. This is PQ information that he made up all by himself. So keep that in mind as you go through it. But that's what I seem to be looking at as I look at the numbers. So I want to jump into our PQ floor picks of the week real quick, because it's rare that I have an opportunity to talk about these kind of things. So little insight: when I look for trends and Quokkas, that I look on the floor and I say, okay, what am I going to bring to everybody? There's certain traits that pop into your head right away that seem to drive rarity within our collection. And one of them is earrings. I don't know for good or for bad, but earrings seem to drive a high rarity number in our collection. So whenever I'm scanning, if I catch an earring of any kind, I stop and I look at it. And I did that this morning. It wasn't there last night, but this morning I go flipping through and I see Quokka number 169 sitting on floor 0.68 ETH. It's a black Quokka with a glass eye, red bathing suit, but a diamond studded earring and a halo. And I see those kind of things, and I'm like saying to myself, this has got to be too rare to be sitting at this number. So I look it up on Rarity and Sniper, and it is sitting right now at rarity number 694 out of an 8,000 piece collection. So you're in a top 10% rarity just sitting on the floor. The fact it's there is really a crime in my eyes. I think it's going to get snatched up quick, but that is definite value sitting at that number at that price. So if you're listening to this and that Quokka is still out there, I suggest putting the ETH on MetaMask or whatever wallet you use and grabbing that guy up.
Yeah, before you go on with that, I mean, that price is shocking for that Quokka. It's you rarely see any of that rarity rank for sale like this, and for that price. And also, it is one of the funkiest looking Quokkas in the collection, isn't it? It doesn't look like any others that we have. It's so bizarre looking that I love that one.
It without a doubt caught my eye first thing. It is definitely because the black fur and the contrast of the one brown eye, the one blue eye, because of that glass eye, really gives it a unique look, without a doubt. And then you put the halo on top of it, it kind of it all comes together. I was really surprised to see it. And that's where I have this debate, as you know, I want to bring value to the people listening to the podcast, but I always have the same rule that I've had from day one, is if I'm bringing you something as a PQ floor model, it's off limits to me. I'm not going to go buy it up myself at that point. And this was a tough one because I was sitting there debating, okay, like I have a duty to the community, but I also have a duty to increase my collection and build the value of my collection. And I decided that this one was something that I really wanted to bring on. I wanted to talk about, and I also wanted to give everybody a little sneak peek into some of the things I look at when I'm trying to find these on the floor.
Team player, PQ. I wanna touch real quick on the earring thing that you mentioned. You have to have your rarity sniper ready, man, because sometimes you'll see a Quokka that doesn't look that rare. But for an example, too, the earring combo added with another earring on the ear makes it super rare. And it doesn't look that rare, but there's this earring combo that has like 3 on the top of the ear. And then if it has another earring somewhere, yeah, that blows the rarity through the roof. Like, it makes a huge difference. So yeah, that's a real good point. All the earrings, yeah, they put you up in rarities.
They definitely seem to drive value. And you're talking about the ones that they have like 3 gold hoops going up their ear. If you see that below 1/8, grab it. I'm going to do it. So if I see it before you, it's going to be a race. Let's put it that way.
I like it.
Earring paired with a nose ring or a tongue ring. That's it's like double. Yeah. Positive Q. I say 24 hours after we post these ZarCasts, they're fair game. You should be able to go out and grab them.
Or maybe you just buy through, X day to X day, and then you have, whatever days off that you don't buy if you're going to bring it,
That's fine. I have a large and ever growing collection. So if it's still there in a couple of days, I have no problem grabbing them up.
No,
but the other one I wanted to bring is, we had a conversation last week about the Digi Camo, and it was coincidental that a good friend of ours, Mello, the one I had brought to us last week as a floor model, Mello grabbed up, liked it, liked what I was saying about it, and decided he wanted it for his collection. So congratulations to him. Great guy, by the way. Really gotten to know him during this project. So as I'm going through, I start looking for this week, and we have 2 Digi Camos right on the floor. This is a top 5 fur. Why I'm seeing these, I don't know. I think that it's the most underrated fur out there. But what you're looking at is you have Quokka 3170 and Quokka 1994, both sitting on the floor at 0.67 and 0.82. So for a total of 1.5, not only can you have a guaranteed 100% Digi Camo Quokka kid, you also get the sidekick that goes along with it. And these are 2 really cool looking Quokkas. I suggest you go on OpenSea to check them out. I mean, one of them's got the hoodie up, which everybody likes, and it's very rare with the hoodie up and the demon eyes. I think put that together, this is one really cool looking Quokka. The other guy's got the collared shirt with a mohawk. They're both really cool looking, and that is excellent value. Basically, you're looking at 1.5 ETH to not only get 2, a guaranteed match with a Digi Camo fur for the Quokka kid, and then the sidekick that goes along with it. That is value beyond value. Please go get it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think the 1994 one, I think, is owned by currently King of Mars.
It is actually. He asked me about it, and I told him he's giving it away. But I think he's got his eye on a couple of other things, and that's the game we play sometimes.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
so he and I did talk about that. So I don't want to take up too much time, but when I was sitting around yesterday, I always try and think about what I'm going to say on this show the day before. Obviously, I want to bring some knowledge, some value. And I was really racking my brain yesterday. It's been a kind of slow week in the market, not a lot going on. And then I jumped on our Zoom call last night and listened to our great founder, Dr. Dick Doofus. And when we sat there last night and he started talking about things, it really clicked in my head of what we should be doing now and what I'm seeing. And what I see is an excellent opportunity to buy. I see a lowered floor price that's about to hit resistance. And I know everybody's thinking to themselves, PQ, you always say that. Like, I'm like the GIF. It's like, buy it now, buy it now. I get it. I get what I always say, and I do believe it. But here's why I'm thinking that. So when you look at other collections that have been out there for a long time, they aren't bringing value after value after value like Quokka is doing right now. You don't get pairings. You don't get Quokka kids. You don't get those things that we are now bringing piece after piece after piece. It's almost like you can't keep up. You're going from the Quokka kids to the sidekicks to now we find out last night that all our coins are going to be able to be separated from the Quokkas. So if you think about it, there will be no other time in the history of our project probably where you can get so much value in your Quokka tokens as you're going to get than the day they separate them. So anything you own, you're going to be holding so many coins because you're never going to be able to get 3 months worth separated at the same time. And I don't know what their future utility is going to be. I'm sure they got great things planned, whether it be metaverse games, whether it be future crypto, whether it be, you just want to get some Tribe Quokka t-shirts and hats. Whatever you want to do with it, there's never going to be a better time to get more of it than right now. And for all those reasons, now is for the Philadelphia 76ers fans out there, we're in the process. We're acquiring assets right now. And there's going to come a time to use those assets. But right now is the time to acquire those assets to help build for the future. So every 2 Quokkas you put in your wallet, we've already gone over in previous shows that you can easily get your money back plus some on those Quokkas. But then you're going to start profiting from the Joeys, from the sidekicks, from the coins. And I'm going to take a guess right now. I have not spoken to Dr. Dick about this. I have no inside knowledge whatsoever, but everybody is trying to guess what that picture is he sent out with him on the beach. The great rendering, by the way, from our artist who did that, what
Beautiful.
that picture is. And if you want my guess, and like I said, pure guess. So I hope it's right, but I think that is an intro into metaverse real estate. I think that is Rottenest Island, where everybody in the tribe, I don't know, we're all going to be able to get or have a stake in Rottenest Island. I think that that's what that picture is. Once again, I'm sure our guest is not going to give it up because he's famous for not giving up the alpha, but that is my 100% guess. So I think right now, the time to build, the time to grow, the time to acquire assets, it is now. Let's take advantage of it. Thank you very much for your time, everybody.
Awesome job as always, man. And yeah, the time is now for sure. Everything that's happening coming up, you're gonna really be kicking yourself for not getting it now, especially with the price of Ethereum. Yeah, time's now, man. All right. Do we have our guest ready?
He is on the line.
Come line.
Right.
This is a big one, man. We got a superstar.
It's another Tribe Quokka rock star, ladies and gentlemen. One of the founders. Please welcome ChefX.
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Super
Going on,
pumped
buddy?
to be here, man. Super pumped to be here. I was thinking about it ever since I started listening to the first episode, man. I knew we'd be chatting eventually. So you guys are crushing it, man. I love the format. Love the financial analysis there too. Positive. So
Yeah,
great job.
Thank you. Do you want to give up the alpha real quick? Was I right on my guess, or are we just putting that out there right now?
You were just saying something that actually I thought was kind of funny. You were saying, when you're saying, "Hey, it's a great time to buy," the floor is here, but then it dips a little bit more, and we always think it's the bottom. I'm speaking more about the crypto side, but that's exactly how traders have been. I follow so many different, traders and analysts in the crypto space, separate from the NFT. I like to think that everything kind of is, although they do operate independently, in their own little fashion, they are kind of all tied together. And we've been seeing that more and more, with crypto, especially, Bitcoin and Ethereum, which seem to be tied to the S&P 500 now, more than ever, probably this year than previous years. But, every time I hear these guys say, now's the time to buy, now's the time to buy, that, the floor is here, next day drops 10%.
Let's hope I nailed this one. It's Quokka analysis is new to the market, so we'll see how I do over time.
Well, so where I was gonna, segue from that is what's been amazing to see is that despite, especially with a lot of these tokens out there and coins, despite the drastic losses that they have seen in their overall market cap, we've actually been going up, right? We've even with ETH down. We fluctuate day to day like anything else. You'll always have somebody that, needs some liquidity and will list it for under the floor, but, you'll see that get sniped up like within moments. But we've been holding really strong and having lots of growth. And I think you nailed it when you were saying that, there's just so many things in the roadmap that we keep on announcing and, more importantly, delivering upon, right? To the schedule, we haven't really skipped a beat from that standpoint, that, it's just getting people excited, not just our existing community, but just all those on the outside looking in, those in the sidelines that were, that are, debating about, hey, should I get in the Tribe Quokka, or, one of several other projects that, we're all out there, watching, right? And everybody has probably a handful that they're looking at, and, there's a lot of newbies being on-ramped into the space, and they're going to tread with caution and not want to put all of their bags into NFT projects, not with the way the bear market is. So it's nice to see that steady growth, because it just goes to show that we're on the correct path, right? And most importantly, we really involve our community, right? As you guys all know, we really lean in and listen to what they're, what they're kind of expecting from the project, or ideas that they, bring to the table. We really pay attention, and I think that's, that's critical. Probably something that a lot of projects don't do.
I think we've seen it, and to thank everybody, just the support that we've gotten from the founders and the community just in doing this. I mean, we're just three guys recording Zoom once a week, and to have, Dr. Dick mention it multiple times on his weekly Zoom call, and to have Shiny, the community manager, who's doing a great job, put it out there to, on Twitter and on social. Just the support we've seen for what we're doing is, I mean, you couldn't find a better community or a better set of founders than what we have.
That absolutely. And ChefX, I like what you said, of you guys following through and everything you have in the roadmap. And there's going to be a point in Tribe Quokka where, because, for example, Positive Q, your neighbors with one of the founders, Dante, you know them as well. I had the pleasure to go out to eat with Dr. Dick Doofus and got to pick his brain. And so, all you guys, first of all, you're doxxed. Second of all, there in our community, there's literally hundreds of people that know you guys personally and know, what type of people you are, your integrity, your work ethic. And so it's frustrating, and it's the reality, the fact that there's a lot of new people to NFTs, and they've experienced rug pulls, they are hurt, and they don't trust anyone, and it's going to take time for Tribe Quokka to build that trust, right? For people that are all over the world that have heard about Tribe Quokka, but they don't know us personally, right? Or they don't know the founders. But I think as you guys keep putting out that work and coming up with all these amazing in real life events, and just all the utility you're adding to the Genesis and then to the Quokka Kids, I mean, there's going to be a point that these guys are going to say, okay, I've seen all these other projects promise the world, but Tribe Quokka comes through.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. And, I think a big problem that we're seeing with many projects, not all, but many, is that, they're a little bit over ambitious and in their roadmaps, and they don't have the technical nor the business acumen to be able to properly map out, a year, 2 years in the future. They kind of have like this wish list of everything that they would want to accomplish. And while it should remain a wish list, they actually put it on a roadmap and promise to, the world to deliver it. And what ends up happening is, I think many times, is they simply run out of money, right?
Yeah.
I mean, most mints, put the few free ones aside, which, that in itself, is debatable. We're not seeing a lot of mints that are, minting for a half ETH or an ETH, right? Where you can have a smaller collection and ride that out for a little bit. And also too, it's, founders are pulling arguably, probably too much profit from the revenue they pull in from the mint, and, leaving very little in the pool to be able to fund out, their endeavors. And again, not having the business or the technical acumen to understand what it's going to take to execute all those milestones in the roadmap, it's going to be very easy for them to, not be able to put together an accurate burn rate, right? And then just simply, bleed themselves dry. Whereas, one of the things that we did, and listen, not to boast about this, but, it's something that I know we're all very proud of, is that, all of the founders, three of us own our own businesses, and we have for decades. Two of us heavily in the technical space, between myself and Chris Miles, who both own IT companies. Brett has a strong business back end, technical back end, who's, Brett, Dr. Dick specifically, Kurt, who's Rumpus, he's in the cybersecurity, space. Butumbo, also just has, incredible experience and putting together these huge events, man, and just bringing in, influencers, and just, really making these parties, all these things that we've been to, that you got to experience, just off the charts awesome. One of the things that we did and decided early on is that we would never, take any revenue out of the company when we did our first mint. So when you guys were with us from the very beginning, and we minted out, in 56 minutes back on April 1st, April Fool's Day, 100% of all of the revenue that came from that mint got reinvested back into the company, right? So we've been able to go, just, full tilt, man, and just, invest in every one of these endeavors that we're trying to do, and do them all in parallel, and not really have to worry about, anything. And then we had, a successful Legends auction launch that we did, which did very well. And, it looks like nobody's really selling those.
Yeah. Diamond hands.
Yeah. Diamond hands on those. We have, the Quokka kids rolling out, and a ton of stuff, coming in the near future.
So at this point, Chef, in the evolution of the tribe, is there any one thing that you are most proud of with what you've seen happen so far?
It's hard when you're in it, and you're working with just such a great core group of individuals, between the founders, our artists, those that run our Discord community, of course. We have to mention them, Zero and, Sweet Bun on the admin side, all of our mods that do just a fantastic job. There's just, I guess, so many facets to the entire project. When you're hands-on, like I am, and the rest of the teams, it's hard to, like, I guess, favor just one part, because you love it all. It's like the whole thing is kind of your child. So you're trying to just cultivate and grow, just everything as a whole, right? So, but if I have to look at, I guess, what me personally, what I mean, like what I'm really looking forward to is Metaverse, because that brings in a lot of what, that I'm going to be looking to, really build out in terms of, gaming studio, and, just everything that goes into a fully immersive digital experience. First, for like phase one, kind of out of the gate, will just be more of a virtual, but not VR, right? And then phase 2, we'll look at doing something that's more VR.
ChefX, if you ever start a gym franchise in the metaverse, I wanna invest. I wanna buy in. I'm invested in that, man. I know you're the beast in the game.
Well, hey, I'm not making any promises on this, right? But if there was, say, a land sale, right? If that was a potential component of anything we do in the future, right? Not making any promises.
Yeah.
Well, if you had a piece of land, hey, you could always, you could open, what do they call it? That tungsten, is it tantum gym? It's the one, I see it on social media all the time. It's like the gyms they put in the tropical islands, right? Where where they have like coconut, dumbbells and that are full of something. Have you seen those?
Oh, like a Tonga?
They have some, I guess it's where it is. It's like in Costa Rica or something like that. You always see people going there, and they have these gyms, and it's literally like a coconut, workout set in a hut of sorts, and they're just loading like rocks in it, and it's on these pulleys, these bamboo made pulleys, and you're like working out like it's the Fred Flintstone days.
Nice.
Hey, that'll work. All right. So one of the things when you said hands-on, and that's one of the coolest things about the Founders is when you do go to these in real life events. I didn't attend the New York City one, but the two that were at Miles Technology, the Founders are just rubbing elbows with every single person in there. If you want to grab one and just chat with them. I know I was sitting with my daughter at the first one, Chef, and you were next to me talking to the 3 guys from Connecticut, and they drove all the way down from Connecticut and for the Mint, and they were all excited and they were sharing their Quokkas, and I actually ended up pulling off a trade with those guys. But yeah, I mean, they were just sitting there bending your ear and you were giving them advice. That was pretty funny. And then you and I pulled off a trade, and that happened because you reached out to me. You said, hey, I heard you were looking for a surfer. I have a surfer if you want. And then, we started negotiating. And one of the things that struck me about it, one, that you guys are always just that accessible. But 2, the surfer that you traded me had the sad eyes. And, all the artwork's ridiculously amazing. But like, it's funny how some of the traits really draw you in, like we were talking about earlier, and then some of them you kind of really sort of shy away from. And you said the sad eyes actually makes you sad to look at them, which I think that just really speaks to the artwork there, right? To have like literally like an actual physical reaction to something you're looking at. That's just incredible. But with that being said, are there traits that you look for, like that you actually like?
Yeah, it's so funny you said that, and it's so true. There's no other way to explain it other than there was so much passion that went into the artwork, right? Between Broba Fett, right, our lead illustrator, and and the rest of the artists that were working on these. It just, everybody had so much passion the entire time from the very beginning to make these things look so lifelike and amazing, right? That you literally feel the emotion that is on the Quokka itself. It's quite amazing, and I haven't really made that connection. I mean, hey, maybe I'm biased because I'm one of the founders in the project, but I've never looked at a Bored Ape or an Invisible Friend, or any of these other blue chips, right? And actually looked at something like, hey, that makes me feel a certain way, right? Like you might think, hey, it's a kind of a cool look, but you literally feel, at least from my own experience, what these what these characters are feeling, and I just think that's pretty amazing. So going on that, you mentioned the sad eyes. Yeah, it's like, it's kind of like a downer thing. I'm kind of a high energy guy, and I like to always live in a positive mindset kind of at all times. And it was like it kind of brings you down a little bit, like you feel bad for the little guy.
Yeah, you did. You absolutely did.
but there's a lot of traits that I like. I mean, I think the furs are first and foremost because that's kind of the base, right? I love the blue furs. I mean, listen, diamonds, of course. I mean, who doesn't love the diamonds? They're the most rare and they just glisten. I mean, they look amazing. But I definitely like the blue fur. Love the ape scarf. I'm a huge fan of the tribal tattoos and the tribal necklace, especially around the blue fur, like the inferno eyes, all that. The crown, there's really so many, there's just so many awesome traits. The surfboard, I'm a huge fan of the surfboard, the diamond grill and the teeth, the glasses, well, really both glasses, because we have kind of like the cool Ray-Ban looking glasses, and then we have those old school like plastic glasses or whatever with the lines through it, like you had back in the 80s. Jean jacket. Yeah, I can go on forever, man. There's so many good ones. But then of course, since I am the chef, dude, I got to go with the chef, right?
Yeah, well, that's caused a stir in the Zar, right? Because when people started realizing there's different tattoo designs, and that the chef one is modeled after Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah,
his tattoos. Yeah, so that was really cool. All right, so with Wildwood Quack coming up, is there anything specific that you're looking forward to? I know you guys like to keep surprises, but is there something that you can share that you're super excited about?
I mean, yeah, I guess I'll just leave it with this, so we're not, giving anything away. I mean, first and foremost, man, it's just seeing everybody, just seeing the community, once you've, as we do more and more of these IRL events, with the first one, right, going way back to December 14th, when we kind of did the unofficial announcement, the local friends and family announcement, that was the first event that we did where we had a few hundred people, and then we had the live mint that had like 400 or 500 people, somewhere in that area, and then everything else that transpired after that, going to New York, you start seeing the same people over and over, and then it's all the Discord activity and Twitter activity in between. You start building these strong bonds, right? I mean, it's kind of an extension of your existing family, and for us, that's really what this is. I mean, we're so, you said the word hands-on, right? We're so hands-on and just hyper passionate about the project, and see this as a very long term business that we're heavily vested in, physically, emotionally, on every level, for the long term. Like, we're not going anywhere. We're just going to keep going on to the next thing. So we're kind of all growing. That's a long way of me saying we're kind of like growing together as a family would grow together. So just being able to go to the event and see, all of you and just the rest of our community there, be able to hang out, and work little, trade deals behind the scenes, and just have fun together, man. That's what it's about.
And let me say this, because you can tell you guys, especially like the founders, you guys are just freaking having fun, man. Like, you can genuinely tell you guys are enjoying yourselves with this. And like, this is just starting. So it's like super, and like, I get fired up every time I hang out with you guys, and I get a little annoying and start asking a bunch of questions, especially on Mint Day. I remember harassing all of you guys, just trying to pick your brain. But like in New York, like that relationship for me, right, personally with you guys, it grows into like this appreciation of just what you guys are doing and how you guys are handling it, and like just having fun along the way, like enjoying the ride to the destination, instead of being too laser focused to not enjoy the moment.
Well, you know what, just to touch on that real quick, you have to also think about the conditions too, right? Like we talked about earlier, we're always rolling out new stuff, but someone has to build that stuff and think of that stuff, and you know what I mean, create it and deploy it, and everything that goes into just building the next thing. And we tend to do a lot of that, like where we're burning the candle at both ends. Because remember, a lot of us own our own businesses, or we have our day jobs, so to speak, right? So we're going hard, right, all morning, all day, all night. It's like can't stop, won't stop, as Dick says all the time, right? So when we have these IRL events, that's our downtime, man.
That's awesome.
It's like we typically launch something right around the time of an IRL event. We did that in New York, right? We launched the Legends collection, did the airdrop, did the auction, and the pre-order for the Quokka kids. That all happened. That all rolled out during New York, which is why I think I was living in my hotel room most of the time, making sure everything went off, smoothly. But when it comes time for these IRL events, it's like it's kind of like this sigh of relief. Like yes, we just launched the next the next thing, and we had it was successful, and it made all of you happy. Like, we love seeing the smiles on everyone's faces, and how everybody's getting pumped up and rallying behind our our cause, our why, just everything that we're doing. So when we're at these events, it's like it's time to let loose, man. Like, it's
I love it.
we feel like we've earned it at that point. It's like
let your hair down and just have a good time, dude.
We're gonna have fun and just enjoy our time with everyone. And then when it's all over, we go back at it and do it again.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it has to feel good to just like look around and be like, look at the happiness and joy that we just brought into all these people's lives, and just seeing it on their faces, didn't exist prior to. So
100%.
Yeah. All right, so I have one more question, because I know you got to get going soon. If there was a legend, is there a legend out there? I know you probably know all the ones that are coming out, but is there one that you would have designed if you could?
Man, it's that thing, right? They're all so good, and most importantly, there was a lot of input from the community on these things. I did, in the auction, I did win the Johnny Depp legend, which that was actually a favorite of mine, like back when they created it, just because I was a huge fan of Pirates of the Caribbean and really just all the movies that he did. And I thought it was kind of funny with the whole with the whole court case and everything that's going on. I'm like now I got to really get him right. This could be worth something.
Yeah.
even more, right? Especially if he wins that thing. But then when we decided to do the breeding, right, like where you could have a Genesis and then kind of have that matched with your legend and get the Quokka kid, and the skin would transfer over to that, right, like we talked about, or the fur. So if you remember in Pirates of the Caribbean, right, when Johnny Depp or Captain Jack Sparrow, they turn into mummies or like zombies or whatever, right, when they found the cursed gold and they're sword fighting the zombies. So I have like a zombie fur. So I'm just like weird like that. Like, it's like, hey, can I recreate like the scene from the movie or something, right? To where if I match the zombie fur of a Genesis with the Captain Jack Sparrow, the offspring of that will be basically a zombie Captain Jack Sparrow. Right?
Oh, no, I love it.
So that part really has me excited, like the ability to match things up, right, and be able to kind of get a cool, unique offspring, off of that. But I'm a huge fan of the Matrix too. Right. So I think it'd be like really badass to have Neo as a legend.
Yeah, that would be cool. So what do we have now? We have Marilyn Manson was suggested, Muhammad Ali, and now Neo from Matrix. That'd be awesome. All right, and before I let you go, up to you, but the name ChefX, do you want to show us all why you call yourself chef, or why the group calls you chef?
Yeah, I'll give you the PG 13 version.
Yeah, okay, we'll take it.
So growing up as kids, right? Well, from all the Zoom calls that Brett and he's mentioned it many times, right? So he and I go way back. We've known each other since kindergarten, right? Dr. Dick and I. So one of the things that we did, and of course this is like, I'm 49 years old. I think I'm a year older than him. He's 48. So, back in the day growing up, it isn't exactly like we had the internet, right? Like we were still playing ColecoVision back in those days, right? Atari. Mm-hmm. So outside of video games, you had to do things to entertain yourself, especially growing up in the Pine Barrens, where there's like no nothing, like you're in the middle of the woods, kind of like nowhere. There's no shopping malls or anything, unless you have a car, you want to drive long distances. So as kids, you have to kind of entertain yourself. So we used to do skits, right? So going back in high school and stuff, on the weekends, we do like what any other teenager does. You're out in the woods, you're lighting little bonfires, drinking beers, all that stuff. And, you start getting creative and wanting to entertain each other. So everybody would do these like skits and reenact different things, right? Gilligan's Island, like all these shows of the times that we were watching. So one of the skits that I would do was the Swedish Chef from the Muppets. Okay. When he's all crazy, with his bork and throwing the spoons and the knives and stuff in the air. So let's just say I was incredibly animated about it, right? And it was a huge hit. I'd have to do it probably like 100 times in a night. People be rolling on the ground laughing. So it was kind of like I was known as the Swedish Chef. And then when we were doing this project, the X came into play because now it's more of a digital thing. So my background, I've been in IT and digital for probably 27 years now. I've owned IT companies. I own a digital agency right now, building web apps and e-commerce systems and digital marketing. So the X is kind of like that, the X factor, kind of like technology. So it's like I'm Chef X. So the technology chef, a marriage of the two.
Perfect. All right. You want to hit us with a little bit of it before we go?
I'm going to pass on that, but hey, you never know what could happen.
Wildwood after a couple of drinks, we got a new meme.
Wildwood. Yeah.
Well, that's right. I got to look out for you guys, right? With these memes.
Yeah, do. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. You did awesome. It was a pleasure to talk to you. We appreciate you very much. I know you got to get going. So thanks again.
Yeah, guys. Thank you for having me.
Jeff, thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you for all you do, ChefX.
Yeah, we'll talk to you.
All right. Thanks again, listeners. Episode 4 is in the books, and enjoy the outro by Tribe Member Creative. Thanks again. D22, Positive Q. I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good week.
Thank you. See you next week, guys. Bye-bye.